Hello, and welcome back to Patrick's Green Tea Podcast. I mentioned early on in this episode that the way I usually smoke is a full joint, but lately when I'm out and about, I'll opt for a bowl. It saves me on weed and is easier to set up. Most often, though, I'll use a dab pen in my room late at night. If anyone's interested, I used to take two inhales at a time, but I've been sticking to a single inhale for a few years now. I also mentioned smoking with a device with a toilet paper inner cardboard tube and dryer lint, but I couldn't remember what it was called. It's referred to as a sploof, and I highly recommend making and using one if you want to mask the scent of weed smoke. It's not a perfect solution for something like smoking indoors, but it works well outside. Supposedly, chewing on peppercorns is a good way to ground yourself when you're freaking out while high. That's why I mentioned chewing them on this episode. I also hear that chewing an ice cube is a good grounding exercise. Feel free to email me your spin on the Patrick's Green Tea theme song, and you'll have a chance to be featured in a future podcast episode. The show's email address is patricksgreentea@gmail.com. That's it, and I hope you enjoy the episode.
This view is really cool. It's like a rock, I guess, but a really big one. It's poking out of the trees, and all the trees on it are like dead. So you can see the moss or whatever's on the rock. It goes up for probably like dozens of feet. It's a tall, green thing on the horizon of this lake. Yeah, dude. I just recorded a podcast with Jordan Demarest. He's a cool guy. I think I'm literally forgetting what I was going to say. And it's funny because we did a podcast together, and that was just a thing that I think Jordan experienced, where he just forgot what he was saying. And he was talking to me about how on this podcast I do that a lot too. So it's fitting. But that was really fun. Oh, my hang up was that I don't know if it'll be released before or after this episode, because I tend to release the guest ones early, like every other episode, because I don't want someone to be waiting for too long. And to wait for it to be chronological, it'd be months. So anyway, by the time you're hearing this, season 4 is well underway. And either way, this is like May, beginning of May. Whew, I was a little, not gonna lie, I was a little like freaked out earlier. Like I got scared about something, and then like that thought made me, officially decide, yeah, I'm recording a podcast right now because I need to be headphones off, paying attention around me. I had this like not hallucination, but I was just like, what's the word? I was like fantasizing in my head a situation where, definitely not fantasizing in like a sexual way, the fun way. It was more like I imagined someone grabbing me from behind, and I was like, man, that would be weird. But then I really thought about it, and I think, man, I'm not at home. I'm like in the world right now. If that actually happened, there's no good thing that could, like, it's best case scenario, it's a bear. So then I freaked the fuck out, bro. I definitely stayed cool, but mentally, none of the thoughts that were popping out to me were very positive. So I'm like, fuck, I want to change this mind state. But besides that, this walk was really nice. I smoked for the first time, and that's not true. But I fully smoke the way I usually smoke, which is a full joint. And I definitely feel like the high that I'm comfortable with, because there's definitely been recent highs where I'm just not high enough, I heard someone compare the rate of like the cost basically of weed as a, I don't know, potency, like percent THC or whatever. That compared to alcohol, where you can buy Everclear and it's not regulated, like it's not prohibited. So people are advocating for strong labels versus like banning certain concentrations or strengths, potencies of weed. And they just let the people decide what they want. That if it's really strong, and immediate. It might be too much for people who don't smoke a lot or who are medically prescribed it. And I don't know. I don't know what the statistic was. It was a good statistic. It was a good little sentence. Man, I'd love to walk along the Hudson. I'm walking along this very long lake, and it's really fun. There's a lot of trees in the way though, but I imagine this is like the best view I would get. I think the Hudson is like the valley is so steep that you can be on like the mid part of the valley and see so far across it. I don't know. Man, there's like some weird sound of wind or something that's really loud. Like a machinery. I literally hear a stick break. Like thumping. Yeah, I want to do the old trick in the book. Dropping the headphones. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to like think, because like it's a rare opportunity for me to record a podcast, and I feel like I'm never prepared when I go into it. But I don't know, it's been a phobia of mine, or yeah, I guess a phobia. My editor, like every time I have a meeting with him about my documentary I'm directing, I feel like I never, the important things never occur to me to ask, for me to ask or say or all that. So I feel like every meeting, considering how infrequently we meet, that the meetings are not at my sort of like most prepared or best. That's alright. This trail, it sucks, bro. I see a rusted oil barrel under a bunch of leaves, and it's like crushed, so it's barely there. But also I see like a fire pit at the bottom of this, like slush. I've been here before. I feel like I've recorded a podcast here before. Seems like a 2018 type of thing, or 2019, or like early 2019. Man, what even happened in my life in 2018? I remember seeing The Grateful Dead a lot, or I mean, like Dead and Company. And then in the winter and spring, I would see the other bands, more like JGB and Phil Lesh and Friends. I don't know. So 2018, I was like, I'm going to do mental math in a second. I think, yeah, I must have met my girlfriend, like my current girlfriend, in 2019. Yeah, because that was the first year that, man, I had a very unique drug experience. And this show definitely is about drugs, but I think that that kind of experience is for another podcast, more like documentary. So anyway, I don't remember. I think 2018 I was just single for a while, and it ended kind of like disastrously, but I did get my first documentary out, which was that was a big accomplishment. Even if it wasn't like going to be distributed anywhere, I didn't even know you could do that, so I just uploaded it on YouTube, and a lot of people saw it, and that's all I wanted, just for like to make it, and let this musician get all the promo and stuff from it. It was more like an essay though, so I guess it was more timely. I was talking about how you have to look really hard, and occasionally you'll just find these hidden gems that are like amazing people or communities or anything like that. And man, let's think about this for a second. Should I name my documentary Hidden Gems, Ship of Fools, or Ship of Fools, Hidden Gems? No, that second one wouldn't work. I don't think I will. I think I want to make Ship of Fools like a departure from that, because it's more of a portrait than an essay. And it sucks because I get new information, but I'm kind of limiting myself on how much I can include, because then it just becomes a whole different thing. I just want to capture that moment in time for that band. But I don't know. I'm literally walking down and up this valley thing. There's like that white noise happening back there. I'm just gonna pace back to where I was. You guys are a big help, as you can probably tell. The fact that people, like, I see the numbers, I know people are listening. So the fact that I'm able to communicate something to someone does take me out of like my paranoia and stuff. Not that I always, not that I can't fucking talk today. I got cotton mouth. Not that our sort of like a relationship, I guess, is. Man, I don't even know where I'm going with this. Oh, not that I like use you guys to get out of like a fearful situation. It's more because, you're a good. You guys definitely help and give me a reason to podcast. I don't always, I think the most recent Woodsy podcast I did, I just, earlier in the day decided to podcast, and that's a really good mindset to be in. But I do like that sort of aspect a lot. But I do know that, I also bit into some peppercorns, like 3 corns, and I did feel better a little after that. So that probably conjoined and made the experience even more chilled out. But yeah, I have like a doctor's appointment soon, so kind of sucked. I'm like definitely not in a huge rush, but it's just like it clips my high a little bit. Not my high, but like my post high sort of afterglow. Because usually I like to just leave hours after getting high and after the effects wear off, just so that I'm like able to enjoy it. So that was kind of a bummer. But I was a little late this morning, but it's all good. It was a day in the life of Patrick Green Tea. That's my name. If look up, what's his name? Something like centrist or Dr. Layman. He had like an avatar that he would put on his videos. Like this avatar thing was talking to you and it had no face. It was really strange. Or it had like an image as a face. So that's what you should be picturing right now. This like motionless sort of cartoon thing talking to you. Yeah, this is like a shorter episode and it already feels like it's been a while. Let me try to remind myself of what my timetable is for today. Oh, I got plenty of time. All right. Cool. I'm trying to think what my like cartoon face would look like. I think I said it like 10 minutes ago, but I can't even remember because the tangent was so long. I don't know. Definitely a slower paced podcast today. Very turtle energy. So yeah, I was thinking while I was smoking that, it's not really worth it to smoke. Like I would smoke in a different scenario or like living circumstance, or when I'm out and at someone else's house where weed is fully legal. Like no question about it. I think that I would definitely be open to smoking, but it's a totally different thing to have weed and make it yourself and like even just right now, like I was saying, just take the whole joint. It launches you up there. It makes definitely worth it. Man, I have a lot of happy memories. I should remind myself of that more often. I have a lot of really good memories. I've done a lot of really like fun things. And that's something that you guys should also remind yourselves about. Because like so often I'll think of like, one event in the past week and just like break it down in my head and try to figure out what was socially unacceptable about it and what parts I could have offended someone, or not necessarily like politically, but just be weird. I am kind of hyper obsessed with trying not to be weird. I feel like all of us are like that to some degree. But, yum butt. This trail is strange. It's also weird weather, like lighting outside, because it's just overcast. But it's like the middle of the day. But so everything's like evenly lit, but it's very dark still. And it rained recently. It smells good outside, bro. That's another thing. When I was smoking, I was using no, not a spliff. Whatever it's called, where you put the toilet paper roll and you put dryer lint sheets inside inside of it. I did that, and it totally neutralized the smell. So I think I might keep using it. It's a little bit of a hassle, but it's kind of like a condom, you know. It just like gives you an added, advantage that's just like really nothing to scoff at. Because I hate being like smoking outside anywhere and getting like everywhere around me to smell like weed. So it sucks, man. And there's gonna be a time when my children, for sure, are gonna be in a world where weed is like, or a country at least, where weed is totally legal. Maybe not my children, but for sure theirs, Assuming they get into it like 10 years after they're born too, so that's like a lot of time. And reform is happening very quickly right now. Is it like an intentional challenge or an intentional design of trails that have fallen trees put over them? Does it prevent people from having like cars or something in here? I think it'd be fun to ride an ATV, but it just seems a little dangerous to me. I'm all over the place this podcast. I don't want you to hear the helicopter coming after me. Oh, it's not a helicopter. It's a seaplane, bro. Wow, that dude is rich. Or that lady, of course. I'm gonna guess though, statistically, that's probably a dude who's super rich off of like oil money or just a hedge fund that he happened to get born into. I don't know. Though, like, it is kind of badass to own a seaplane, no matter what, class or job you have. There's definitely like a nagging something at my mind right now. Something that I'm supposed to be like thinking about right now and like remembering, but I'm pretty sure it's just the doctor's appointment. But it's definitely annoying. I don't really talk about my exact dreams a lot in this podcast, which is kind of a shame. I wish that's a whole different project, but to get my dreams up on like a blog type thing would be cool. But someone did say that someone close to me, similar like entertainment field or like creative field, and like about my age, early 20s, and she said that blogs are dead, which made me sad because I liked my website and all that for this podcast. Like, there's a bunch of images and text that I just like digitized, but I don't know. It's sad. I was too young for it to really take advantage of it, because I totally would have done like creative blogs if I was a few years older. This whole area is spooky. Yeah, I'm gonna drink my water. My mouth is really dry. I'm having a tricky time here, guys. A lot of animal noises. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of the downsides of getting high outside. You're kind of a little in fear, or at least I am, because I think there definitely is some fear in me of the unknown behind the trees, that could kill you. Mainly bears, but I know that they're not super harmless, but I don't know, man. I wonder how many ticks this fucking tree has. This also looks just placed. What the fuck, bro? Attach this to my ear, and hopefully you don't get any rustling. I feel like Bear Grylls if he was a podcaster. Is he a podcaster? Oh, imagine instead of his show being like, or Les Stroud, instead of being visual with the camera, he just podcasted everything. I feel like that'd be something totally different. Alright, I don't have any real good footing right now. This fucking sucks, bro. Alright, I'm gonna just like lower down. Ugh. Hell yeah, bro. All those years in the jungle gym did me good. Hell, let's just go on with more stuff that's going on in the life of Patrick Green. Or was it Patrick Greentea? I don't remember what my name is. Anyway, I need to buy a recorder, like a mixer, to record this friend of mine's concert. It's like a recital. And I'm thinking if there's a mixing board, I can just plug into that or something. You know, just to like get the theater speakers going, just to record how they send it out and, you know, mix each microphone. I'm sure there was some tracks too, right? Like each instrument on a different track or each microphone, I guess. Must be some. I don't know. Some of it's like seems so technical and beyond me. But then again, I have learned a lot in just like my film school about how recording sound works. It's there's some stuff you just got to be told, and then once you hear it, you understand it, you can apply it. And it's really not that. It's not hard to learn, but I mean, I'm sure the more like I'm talking about, the whole advanced stuff is pretty hard to learn. But I mean, people do it, you know, and they make a living out of it. So it's not impossible. Anyways, that's a long way to say that I have to buy a recorder / mixer. Ow, Jesus Christ, dude. There's a fucking mosquito biting my hand while I was holding the mic. How evil are they, dude? That's my first mosquito bite of the summer. God damn. It's not even the summer yet, but it's getting there. And anyway, the real meat of what I'm trying to say is this summer's gonna be great. And shows are already coming back, so that's kind of lit. I was thinking of something else though, another like timeline. I don't know if it was a personal thing or just like a cultural thing. I don't know. Everything's trending well, like in a positive direction. So that's good. Oh yeah, I don't know if I mentioned the podcast with Jordan. I think it was that recent, but Tony Markellis, the bassist for Trey Anastasio band, and something like another band of his. He was like a Saratoga Springs, New York native. It's a great place to be. And I forgot, like, they didn't announce how, but he did pass away. And it's like, it was so sudden that it's just like, what, it doesn't make any sense. But I definitely respect the family doesn't want to release it for whatever reason. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of like encountering death now too. I don't know if I mentioned on the podcast that like I never really had any death in my family close to me. At least when I was like in my teens or later. But, you know, I just encountered a death recently, and not so much like dying, but definitely just having people around me die, which seems much more common and like pretty much guaranteed. Let's go in the studio, boys and girls. Also, I have to take my jacket off. I really can't speak, bro. So that was my life. That was good stuff, bad stuff. I would highly recommend looking at Tony Markellis. First of all, his Fish performance in 2010, where they like let him sit in. They did "Gotta Jaboo," I guess, which I don't really like know the song well, but it sounded good. And just any song he's playing on has a very groovy and fast style. So I saw him once, and I didn't know it was gonna be the only time. When I saw Trey Anastasio band at Peach Festival in 2019, that was good. I think just generally I didn't like the music, but it definitely wasn't like I don't know. It was more that I didn't understand it yet. I wasn't feeling it. I didn't know how to correctly engage with it with my brain. So this was good. Why's my bag here, bro? Oh wait, no, I think I literally put it here. It's just sus. Oh, I need to pee. There's a caterpillar thing on my leg, bro. Here, I'm gonna take a picture of this thing. This little booger. He's tiny, like an inchworm or something. And worms are awesome. The ones that are not trying to like bite you. But they don't usually. Imagine like a giant worm, bro. That reminds me of Dune coming out, where they have the giant worms that burrow in and out of the sand and are carnivorous. But not even that big, just like a massive worm that's not harmful. Just goes around doing whatever worms do, eating decomposed or I don't know what the word is. Good stuff. Clinkle, clinkle. All right, let me get this guy out of here. He's definitely gonna end up dead in here. So I wanted to have life. One little booger. He's on my finger. Oh yeah, hang on. I did it. I got that little booger to safety. But now there's like a welt in my hand from that mosquito. Hey, where's the microphone? Exciting news. So I guess like I did fulfill my sort of implicit New Year's resolution for this podcast. I did get more guests on, and I think that that's a big accomplishment for me. And I'm getting more. This dude named Elijah is going to be on. We just have to coordinate it. He's another musician that has, been a part of the Ship of Fools band. I don't know, repertoire. Their cast of characters, I should say. Good dude. Loves the Allman Brothers, which I also love. I'd love to talk to him about that. And anytime we jam, he just brings in those, like, I don't even realize that. I just started playing this song. Like, man, this sounds like Blue Sky or something. And we'll just play Blue Sky. And then later, someone's like, oh, what song was that? He's like, oh, it's Blue Sky, bro. Or I don't know. He was like, oh, we should play Blue Sky later or something like that. It was literally like, it was funny. So I like that he has that influence. And I think Elijah would probably, I'd love to ask him also what kind of music he likes to perform, because he seems more of a southern rock kind of guy, or like blues, and blues is awesome, but it definitely, like, it's hard to get, there's not many bluesy songs, like really like B.B. King bluesy in the Grateful Dead's sort of repertoire. But I'm just gonna check. Oh, by the way, SpaceX, fucking bravo, they landed the first they landed the first people that they sent up. It was a really I don't know, wrestled way of saying that they sent up these guys named Bob and Doug. I forgot what their last names were, but their first names were so iconic. They went to the space station. They're like celebrities pretty much. At least, for the people in the know. And it was really good stuff. They did their thing and they came back, and they perfected the sort of exercise regimen for the astronauts so well that they really didn't have too much trouble acclimating to gravity again, which has always been a big concern. Anyway, I do have my doctor soon, so I'm gonna head out, boyos. I think that was a good podcast. I'm glad that you guys were along for the ride. I'm glad. I felt like I was along for the ride too. I didn't know where this whole enterprise was heading. You guys will see me soon, and you'll probably see the. You don't know this because I haven't announced it yet, but you'll see the whole new season soon, and I'm excited for that. All right, adios, and I don't know what's a closer. What's like an 80s style closer? I try the veal. No, that's such a weird joke that people say. It's an anti-comic or anti-comedian joke. Anyways, adios and try the veal.
Hello. Thanks for listening to the podcast. You can find me at Patrick's Green Tea on Patreon, Discord, Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, and Bandcamp, Patrick's Green Tea Podcast on Instagram, and Patrick Green Tea without an S on Twitter. If you donate at least $5 a month on Patreon, you'll get exclusive access to the Drunk Patrick Chronicles. The show is available wherever you get your podcasts. Supplemental materials like photos and text are available on our website, patricksgreentea.com. You can join our subreddit at r/patricksgreentea. You can make comments on YouTube and on the website, and you can contact me directly at patricksgreentea@gmail.com. Don't forget to leave a review of the show on your favorite podcasting platform. It really helps us out. Thank you so much and have a lovely day.